Alright friends, so today I'm going to be showing you a fun new stitch for one of my latest blanket designs. It's called the single crochet cluster stitch, and right now I'm working with some Caron 1-pound yarn, which is just a basic acrylic, and I'm using a 6mm hook. These are the same tools that I used for the blanket design, so if you want to make the exact blanket that I use using these tools, you can head down in the description and I will link you straight to the blog post that will share that pattern detail with you. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to chain a multiple of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now if you're new to crochet, this right here, what we just did, is called our foundation chain. So we just made a foundation chain, and now we're going to place a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So if we're looking at our work right here, you want to make sure that you've got these little V's facing you and that you don't have kind of a twisted number where there's a mix. If that's happened, I recommend pulling it out, starting over again, and going slowly to work your foundation chain to where it looks like this little braid looking at you. So in the second chain from the hook, this loop on our hook does not count as the first chain. So this right here would be 1 and 2. In the second from our hook, we're going to single crochet, which is insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the end of the single crochet. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next space or chain, and we're going to single crochet into the next one. That's insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet into the next. So insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, skip the next one, single crochet into the next, and you're going to repeat this all the way across for however large you would need your blanket to be. And down below in the link, I have figured out all the math for you to be able to make various sizes of blankets, but the baby blanket size is the only one available for free on the pattern. You'd have to purchase the PDF for $5 to get all of the math figured out for all of the other sizes, but you can very well do that on your own if you so desire. So we're skipping, and then in the very last chain, remember we chained 1, we skip 1, and then the very last chain, which is right here in front of the knot, we finish off with a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn. Now in this particular stitch design, the chain 1 does not count as a single crochet. So even though we chained 1, we're going to go right back into that same space right there, and we're going to go ahead and work a single crochet. Now here is where the cluster happens, and just for a moment I'm going to zoom you in so you can see. If you look right here, here's the single crochet stitch of the previous row. To work the cluster, you single crochet into the same space as your chain 1. You chain 1, and then right here in these little gaps on either side of the previous row single crochet, you're going to do single crochet 2 together. So you insert your hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, leaving 2 on the hook, come over, skipping that single crochet and coming over to the space next to it. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 to complete a single crochet 2 together. Now I'm going to do those across the rest of the row so you can see. So a chain 1, And here we are again. We finished that single crochet 2 together right here, so we're going to start right there in that space. We're going to insert our hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, then previous row single crochet right next to it in the space. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 to complete the next single crochet 2 together. Chain 1. And in that same space we just ended, we're going to start the single crochet 2 together. Pull through only 1. Skip that previous row single crochet. Go into the next one. Draw up a loop. Pull through all 3. Chain 1. And you just repeat this process, making these single crochet clusters all the way across. And here you would have no more spaces. So you chain 1, and instead of starting the next single crochet cluster, you simply put a single crochet into that first single crochet of the previous row. Remember, we did a chain 1 and a single crochet, so you don't put it down in the chain 1, you put it directly into the single crochet. You chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to do 2 more rounds of this so you can get a really good idea and feel for what's going on. So we did a chain 1, okay, and we're going to single crochet into that same chain 1 space. Chain. Now, here is our little cluster right here. This is the chain 1 that we did. So you've got kind of a cluster here and a cluster here. So right there in that natural open space, do you see how you've got the open space? In that chain 1 space that we did, that's where we're going to work a single crochet. And you would chain 1 and then go over to the space in between the cluster, single crochet, chain 1, find the next space, single crochet, chain 1, and then the last space, single crochet, chain 1, and then you're just going to go right there into the top of that single crochet, the first single crochet of the previous row. So you can kind of begin getting an idea. Let me bring the brightness down just a tad. You begin to get an idea of what it looks like. So let's do another cluster row. So we've chained 1, we turned, we do a single crochet into that very same chain 1 space, chain 1, and here we're going to begin our clusters. So there's your little spot where you know here and here is where we start and end the cluster. So you insert your hook, draw up a loop, pull through only 1, then reaching on the other side, you begin to work a single crochet, and since we're single crocheting 2 together, you're going to pull through all 3, chain 1, and in the same exact space where you ended the cluster, you're going to begin the next one, skipping over the previous row single crochet. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We pull through all 3, and just going, it's very simple. It's a 2-row repeat, very simple. 1 row is the clusters, the other ones are the single crochet chain 1s. Very simple. And then of course right there in the last stitch, just like so. And so the cluster would be considered your right side, and so let's work 1 more wrong side row. So you chain 1, insert your hook into the same chain 1 space to work a single crochet, chain 1, then remember into that space between the clusters you work a single crochet, you chain 1, into the next space. Between the clusters, work a single crochet, chain 1, into the next space between the clusters, single crochet, chain 1, in the next space of the clusters, single crochet, chain 1, and then of course end with a single crochet. And then you would begin your next row. Now for the blanket, I did add a simple single crochet border, so I'm going to go ahead and add a border around this just so you can see. So if you're done, you end on a wrong side row, and to begin your the border to the blanket, you would go ahead and chain up 1 just to kick off on the right side row the border. So we're just going to go ahead and place a single crochet. We're going to place 2 right there in that space where we did a chain 1, so this would be your corner. And then if you look, you see how you have these V's? Those would be your stitches. So you're simply going to single crochet into each stitch all the way across. This will just give a nice separation and dimension, because we're not working clusters or doing any chain 1s, so this is going to give us a good pop of dimension, and you want to put your hook underneath both of those little V's right there. And you could do any kind of a border, but I do recommend at least kicking it off with a base row of single crochet, just because it's going to make it easier if you're wanting to add like a wavy border or a pom-pom border or something like that. I just recommend doing that. Okay, so we're coming up to another corner. So in order to make this corner nice and round, we're going to put 3 single crochet into the same stitch. So that was 1, here's 2, and 3. So it gives us this really nice rounded corner. Now for the side, there aren't technically any stitches to go in, and that's okay. The goal here is to ensure that you are crocheting evenly along the side. And if you look, there are natural spaces to where you can, you know, kind of insert a hook. So if you look here, here's a space. Let's put a single crochet there. Naturally, it looks right about here. The next space is right here. Let's see, right there. And again, there is no right or wrong way to do this. It's about getting things even. You don't want it too bunched up, and you don't want them too far apart. So it may take you just a minute or two to kind of like get your bearings on what looks right, but just be patient and you'll figure it out. So we go along and we come up to another corner, and we're going to place 3 right there in that corner. Remember to make it nice and rounded. And then we're just going to begin by single crocheting into each of those stitches all the way across. My yarn's wanting to bunch up on me. So the top and the bottom rows are obviously the easiest because they already have designated stitches. So you really only have to pay close attention to what you're doing. And if you wanted to make sure that everything was perfectly symmetrical, you could decide how many stitches you did along one side and then just make sure that you have that same stitch count as you work along the other side. Okay, so we just did 3 to round our corner, and then again we're just going to kind of create some stitches where it seems the most logical to place them. And then of course you began with 2 in that space, and we are ending with 3. I was looking for my scissors, I don't see them. So basically all you're going to do now at this point is you would just slip stitch that space. I don't know where my scissors ran off to, but you would just slip stitch that space, and I'll zoom you back out. And then there you have it. That's the the single crochet cluster stitch with a border example. And like I said, down in the description box, you are going to find a link to a baby blanket pattern, and then the option to purchase the full PDF for $5, and it will have multiple sizes, all of the math figured out for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And yeah, that's it. So be sure that you are subscribed to my channel. You can join our family of Yarniacs here. I have more stitch videos, more yarn reviews coming up, so you won't want to miss that. And we have lots more patterns and designs. So I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.